Well, the gloves are off and everybody is fighting mad about this boxing match between Angela Carini and Imane Khelif. And I just got to say, my granddad was a professional boxer and he'd be rolling over in his grave. There he is. If he thought of a man going into a ring with a woman. But you know what? I don't think that's what's happening here. I even got all caught up in this and I tweeted something about it, but this may not be the case. This boxer was actually born, according to reports, a biological woman. She just has an XY chromosome instead of XX, and she has a high level of testosterone. And that is what disqualified her from previous boxing events. But she has always competed as a woman, even in the Tokyo Olympic. So Khalif does not identify as transgender. I mean, she was born in Algeria, and this match was over before it even got started. Angela Carini complained of intense nose pain. She was crying. And it just sort of set this firestorm off in the world that men are not allowed in women's sports. And of course, we feel this because there's a big, movement to make girls boys and boys girls, even though your genitals are, they say, don't matter in the first place, and people are sick of it. But we also sometimes have to take a moment to maybe make sure we're on the right track and that we have all the facts and that we're not jumping on something that isn't the case, because this boxer might not have done something wrong. Actually, she apparently is not doping with testosterone, and she was born a female. And even according to Wikipedia, as much as you could believe them, her dad said that he didn't want her getting into boxing because girls don't box. But everybody is criticizing this. The Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is calling this out. Trump has said he will keep men out of women's sports, which I agree with. And J.K. Rowling has called this a brutal injustice. But is this the reality of what we're looking at? I mean, she looks like a man. She really looks like a man, but they say she was born female. So, in fact, she has not technically done anything wrong. She just has high levels of testosterone and she was born with an XY chromosome. And her and Taiwan's Lin Yu are permitted to box in the women's division, Paris 2024. She has been banned in the past because her body does produce high levels of testosterone. What are you going to do? Some women have beards, some women get a big mustache. I mean, I don't know. But this is just a reminder to all of us to slow down. I know we are angry, and just to stop and think for a minute, like, what is the full story? I mean, the Paris Olympics have already pissed us off because of their ridiculous opening ceremony, that now you can't find off on the internet. They did actually, there was more to the hours-long opening ceremony. They did actually have some nice stuff in it, not that I'm defending them because what they did was so terrible. They did have some cool stuff. It's just that what was going around was so depraved, with that perverted little blue Smurf guy that they pretended to call Dionysus, dancing around with his junk hanging out on the table, and the Last Supper, all that stuff. You mean, you really are pissing people off by doing something like that. And so they kind of reap what they sow by putting something like that out there. Although there were some parts of the opening ceremony that were nice, just nobody's talking about that. And Samsung has pulled out and other advertisers have pulled out. You go woke, you go broke. You better think twice about that nonsense. But also, it's a reminder to us to think twice before we jump on a story. Do we have all the facts? Do we know what's going on? So Imane Khelif was born a woman. There you have it. I haven't looked between her legs, but this is what I'm hearing.